嚟天 P5 咁讀晒3篇文章俾你，屋企完整句子唔多，3篇文章一次過解晒俾你聽。嚟咯 A. Kelly is reading the school magazine. Read the magazine article and answer the questions. Hong Kong Weekly, 14th March, 2022. 2022. You may think that rickshaws, vehicles pulled by a person, are just for tourists. But about 50 years ago, they were a popular type of transport in Hong Kong. Those days, people also traveled by ferry, bus, tram, and peak tram. Peak 要大街專有名詞喺香港嘅。And let's find out more about some of these historical vehicles. These are vehicles which are still in use today. Vehicles 即係交通工具車。Before the first Cross Harbour Tunnel opened in 1972, the MTR started running in 1979. People traveled between Hong Kong Island and Kowloon mainly by ferry. Although few people take the ferry now, many people still think it's important for some. 對於一啲人嚟，it is the main form of transport. Joe Chan, a resident on Landmark Island, 島嶼用岸，其他地方用。So most people here take the ferry almost every day 分開 ever. I like traveling by ferry, although it's not cheap. I enjoy the view. In 1910, buses started to appear in Hong Kong. Although we can see double-decker buses almost everywhere in Hong Kong now, there were only single-deckers before 1949. From 1971 onwards, instead of buying tickets, people could put their bus fares into a box on buses. In Hong Kong, there are many bus fans. Buses are convenient and quite fast too. I think they're fascinating because there are so many different models to look at. I'm interested in buying them, said 40-year-old Dennis Tan, excited. Trams also have a long history in Hong Kong, but on Hong Kong Island only. They started running in 1904, cost 10 cents. To travel first class and 5 cents to travel third class 100 years ago. There was no second class. Nowadays, although the fare is 2.9, 2.3, 應該錯啦，應該係2.30 $2.30 嗰個零咧。It's still a very cheap way to travel and the view is great, said 30-year-old. 記住 hyphen 中間單數啊。Hong Kong resident Annie Lam. So that's passage 1. Passage 2, part B. Kelly is reading the newspaper, read it and answer the questions. Local news, Hong Kong Morning Post, 15th March, by David. Last night, a burglar broke into an electronics shop. Electronics shop, 一啲電子豐澤阿伯老會嗰啲 electronics shop in Causeway Bay, and got much more than he expected. The owner of the shop, 69-year-old Mr. Fan, was doing some paperwork when the burglar used a metal bar to break into a window at the back of the shop. I count my products once a month. 一個月一次 explained 佢。Although it's quite boring, I'm glad I decided to do it last night. First, I heard a loud noise like metal hitting metal, metal hitting metal. Then he saw a tall and thin man all dressed in black climbing through the window. He quickly dialed 999 on his mobile phone. I was whispering, 細聲講 whispering, to the woman when the burglar saw me. Then she told me to set off the alarm, so I did. The burglar ran back to the window. The burglar was trying to escape out of the window when he grabbed his hands. He knew the police were coming, so he held on. Finally, the burglar stopped kicking. He hurt himself. I hurt myself too, but luckily it wasn't serious. The police officer arrived. He was still holding onto the burglar's hands. I couldn't believe my eyes, officer, said the officer. She said that Mrs. Van was very brave to stop the burglar from. Stop 可以跟 from 跟 ing. Stop 可以直接跟 ing. 可以 stop the burglar escaping, or to stop the burglar from escaping from virginity. However, she said he was also very lucky not to be hurt more seriously, ever. It's always better to call the police and let us deal with the criminals. Deal with 即係解決處理嘅事 deal with them with criminals 啲罪犯 she said. 所以黎天老師會整錯係會嘅。Passage 3. Kelly is reading a school notice. Read the notice, answer the questions. Since we are going to go on a trip to Hong Kong Park on 11th April. On that day, we'll go to the visitor center. We will learn about the birds that live in the village. Then we will walk around the park and look at the beautiful view of the trees and flowers. After that, we will watch the birds and draw pictures of Hong Kong Park. We will have a picnic at the picnic site. The school opens at 8:30 a.m. that day. The coach will leave at 9:15 a.m. on that day. Please arrive at school 15 minutes early. We'll be back at school at around 4 p.m. The park is a long way from our school, 45 kilometers. It takes about 1.5 hours to get there. Here are some important points to note. You should bring your own lunch and snacks and at least a bottle of water. You can invite one of the parents, guardians to join the activity with you. Each student will pay $25. Each parent or guardian will pay $30 for the transport fee, respectively. If you have any questions about the activity, please call me at school on 239-8777-8. Joy our nature. Mr. Lau, Principal. 校長寫出嚟嘅 notice，easy，加油！